Welcome to Train Out Dog, the podcast where I talk to myself on a train. Today we're going to be talking about why humans love to pick at scabs and what purpose does that serve. Why don't they just leave the damn scabs alone and let them heal? But no, they've got to pick at the scabs and ruin them, and they just make new scabs to pick. But first, rider mail. This rider mail comes from #HKTom. This rider writes, ingredients: 2 tablespoons unsalted butter, 1/2 cup 125 grams diced onion, 1/2 cup 125 grams diced celery, 6 pork loin rib chops, engraving into 1.5 inches, 3.7 centimeters thick set, 1 cup 250 grams diced dried Juan bread, 1 Avenue apple, peeled, cored, and dice. That sounds like a great recipe, #HKTom. Why don't you write in again and tell us what it makes and and what your review of the resulting food is. So, scabs. Why do apes pick at them? Why do apes pick at scabs? Scabs, why the urge to pick them? The naked scientists forum. Why does it feel so satisfying to pick at scabs? Quora. I'm definitely going to the Quora article first. Not quite the same thing as is there an evolutionary explanation for the desire to pick scabs? That's great body content. Drumil Vaishnav writes, studying anything related to human being, 10.7 thousand views. TLDR, here's someone with a horrible road rash on their elbow. Actually, it comes from under one of obsessive-compulsive disorders. Habitual picking of scabs is classified in the group of psychological disorders associated with self-harm, such as deliberate cutting, head-banging, and burning oneself. These actions are more often associated with girls than with boys, and scab picking often starts with the subject is 13 or 14. Psychological symptoms that are often associated with picking scabs are depression, low self-esteem, addiction, eating disorders, and anxiety. A history of trauma or some sort of abuse is almost always involved. Quite often, really, this is like a medical condition? I thought just everyone did it. I thought everybody took their pants off completely to pee. Quite often, the habit gets started as a way to relieve the pent-up frustrations or fears when other ways of dealing with conflict are not effective. Feeling that verbal communications are ineffective, leave the scab picker feeling as if there is no other way to express the emotional turmoil going on inside. Most people will pick a scab from time to time with no significant harm done. It's when the act of picking the scab brings down emotional relief, desired pain, or pleasure that medical intervention is advised. Yeah, you really need medical intervention when you feel emotional relief, desired pain, or pleasure. That sounds terrible. Detailed version. Do all people who pick their skin have skin picking disorder? No. Research has shown many people pick up their skin from time to time. It's not uncommon for a healthy person to occasionally pick at pimples, scabs, or even healthy skin. Skin picking is not considered a disorder unless it is often and or bad enough to cause significant distress or problems in other areas of life. Also, other types of health problems like skin conditions, mental retardation, even drug use withdrawal may cause people to pick their own skin at times. Skin disorder, no. Skin picking disorder, no. No. This is so unrelated to what I want to read about. Five disgusting habits and why you do them. Nose picking. Just look at that. Hello, lovely people of scientific niceness. I suspect this is a psychological question, which is still a science, is it not? Anyway, why is it that when you have a scab, one has the urge to pick it? What is it that compels the urge to scratch away? Your words of healing would be appreciated. Bezoar writes, because they itch. Neolep writes, don't, but if I may be so bold, this would be ever slightly defensive. Nance, not all scabs are itchy, and the urge is still there. Jai or Hi writes, because we are all curious and slightly masochistic, as with the tattoo with a lot of tattoos, I have a lot of experience with scabs, mostly in how not to get them. The scab is a protective mechanism which in most cases overworks. When you have a light cut or abrasion, the way not to get a scar is the scabbing is to wash gently, pat it dry, and apply a little cream, sour cream, cream cheese, such as panthenol or Savlon, a water-based cream that will not irritate the skin, is necessary. You must repeat this process, wash dry, cream 3-4 times daily until the scab flakes off like dry skin. Do not pick. You will then find the itchiness is usually after the scalp, not scalp or scab, but scap comes off. Well, it's like the urge to press bridges, touch painful teeth, rub your sore elbow, etc. There's a reason apparently for compulsive pressing or sore spots. Licking your wounds, I think, perhaps behaviorally linked to saliva-containing healing properties, as our evolutionary ancestors in the animal kingdom tend to do all these touching, pressing, and rubbing actions with their tongues. Interesting. I agree, Lindsay. Who was Lindsay? Was that? Who was Lindsay? There's no Lindsay here. No Lindsay spoke. Perhaps Dr. N was Lindsay. I agree, Lindsay. There almost seems to be an instinct happening here, like a psychological thing, perhaps. I have a slight graze at the moment. It's not really itchy, but I really want to pick it. Don't want to lick it, though. Well, I might have a nosh later, though. I like this guy. Hi, this is my first time posting here. It seems like a cool site. I've been thinking about why I've picked scabs for a while now. I have scabs in my scalp, and I'm not trying to pick it. I think we pick it because it comes from our primal urge to groom ourselves like we did when we were chimps. We were constantly looking out in our skin fur and the skin of other chimp friends, looking for ticks and other tasty parasites, so when we touch our skin, if we find a bump, we automatically want to remove it. That served us well when we were chimps, and we needed to remove parasites from our body. So just tell yourself bumps are good, bumps are healing, bumps are good. Cause reaction, a stimuli. It feels so good though to see the world in a grain of sand. It's so poetical. It's kind of like the body's way of saying, hey, the skin underneath is getting ready to be exposed, so start getting rid of the scab, would you? Of course, I'm probably completely off track. My skin doesn't really talk to me, does it, Tim? See, this person signed his posts. Old Man is his username. Your skin talks to you all the time. Yeah, that's a good way. Also, scalp picking. I think evolutionary origins of intelligence, but you can't stop picking your skin, body, odd, NPC moves. From time to time, everyone picks their skin, whether it's squeezing a pimple or removing peeling skin. But for people with compulsive skin picking, we just take it to a whole new level, says Dana Marie Flores, who has struggled with that disorder for 30 years. Flores started picking at pimples on her face when she was over 13. She spent hours with her face in the toilet in the bathroom mirror, picking at any acne bumps she saw, using her pinky fingernails to squeeze out the pus. To her, picking served a useful purpose. When I first started to pick, I was self-soothing, admits Flores. Something came out. It was that sort of affirmation that something was in my skin. There was a feeling of satisfaction and relief. Flores said picking at her face then evolved to picking at any bumps she found in her arms and legs. I think of it as fixing a problem, like removing any grown hair, even things out of my skin. When doing it, Flores said her mind enters into a trance-like state. It's really an escape, like a drug. It's so self-soothing you lose track of time, she explains. Although the urge to fix is incredibly strong, it can seem hard to fight. 42-year-old mother of two from Phoenix eventually recognized her behavior was a grooming habit gone terribly wrong. Compulsive or pathological skin picking also known as dermatillomania, falls under the umbrella of a body-focused repetitive behavior, says Dr. Ted Grossbart, PhD, a Boston-based clinical psychologist who specializes in dermatology. Skin picking is not a character flaw and it's not a bad habit, Grossbart points out. It's a real medical condition with a biochemical underpinning. Language alone, critical fetish of modernity. Wound licking, Wikipedia. Wound licking is an extinctive response to humans and many other animals to lick an injury. Dogs, cats, small rodents, and primates all lick wounds. Saliva contains tissue factor, the blood-flooding mechanism. The enzyme lysozyme is found in many tissues. It is known to attack the cell walls of many gram-positive bacteria, aiding in defense against infection. Tears are also beneficial to wounds due to the lysozyme enzyme. However, there are also infection risks to the bacteria in the human mouth. What is the tissue factor? Coagulation factor 3. Factor, also called platelet tissue factor, factor 3, thromboplastin CD142, is a protein present in subendothelial tissue and the leukocytes necessary for the initiation of thrombin formation from the zymogen prothrombin. Thromboplastin defines the cascade that leads to the activation of factor X, the tissue factor pathway. Doing so, it has replaced the previously named extrinsic pathway in order to eliminate the ambiguity. I love eliminating ambiguity. Mechanism. Oral mucosa heals faster than skin, suggesting that saliva may have properties that aid wound healing. Saliva contains cell-derived tissue factor and many compounds that are antibacterial or promote healing. Salivary tissue factor associated with microvesicles shed from cells in the mouth promotes wound healing through the extrinsic blood coagulation cascade. The enzymes lysozyme and peroxidase, defensins, cystatins, and antibody IgA are all antibacterial. Thrombospondin and some other components are antiviral. Protease inhibitor secretory leukocyte. Protease inhibitor is present in saliva and is both antibacterial and antiviral in order of wound healing. Lick granuloma from excessive licking. Granuloma, also known as an acrolick dermatitis, is a skin disorder in dogs. It results typically from a dog's urge to lick the lower portion of one of his or her legs. The lesion can be red, swollen, irritated, or bleeding, similar to a hot spot. Like eczema, the dog's incessant licking of the lesion eventually results in a thickened, firm oval plaque. Cutaneous condition is any medical condition that affects the integumentary system, the organ system that closes the body, includes skin, hair, nails, and related muscles and glands. The major function of the system is a barrier against the external environment. Okay, what about the word plaque? The most common cause of lick granuloma appears to be psychological, related to stress, anxiety, separation anxiety, boredom, or compulsiveness. Lick granulomas are especially seen in active dogs left alone for long periods of time. One theory is that excessive licking causes endorphin release, which reduces pain and makes the dog feel euphoric temporarily. That effect then causes an addiction to licking. Citation needed. Treatment of the primary cause, if known as this, is essential in psychogenic cases. Psychological factors should be identified and addressed, such as being left alone all day, being confined, and changes in the household. Bactericidal against a bacteria, two bacteria names, although not against the coagulase positive staphylococcus. or bacteria name. Wound licking is also important in other animals. For example, the salivary glands of mice and rats slows wound healing. Communal licking of wounds among rodents accelerates wound healing. Communal licking is common in several primate species. In macaques, hair surrounding a wound and any dirt is removed, and the wound is licked, healing without infection. Too much licking of wounds can be harmful, and the Elizabethan collar is sometimes worn by pet animals. Permanent bite or excessive wound licking, which can cause granuloma. These lesions are often infected by pathogenic bacteria such as Staphylococcus intermedius. Infection is another risk. Horses that lick wounds may become infected by a stomach parasite, a type of nematode worm. The rabies virus may be transmitted between kudu antelopes by wound licking.
My sister has a Colonia because they have kind of
Elizabethan collar is just the cones. E-collar or pet cone, sometimes humorously called the pet lampshade, pet radar dish, cone, or chain. It's a protective medical device worn by an animal, usually a cat or dog, shaped like a truncated cone. Its purpose is to prevent the animal from biting its body or scratching its head or neck while wounds or injuries heal. The device is generally attached to the pet's usual collar, with strings or tabs pressed through holes punched into the sides of the plastic. The neck of the collar should be short enough to let the animal eat and drink. Although most pets adjust to them quite well, others will not eat or drink with the collar in place, and the collar is temporarily removed from meals. The collars are named for the ruffs worn in Elizabethan times. In an unusual case, an Oregon high school teacher was reprimanded after licking blood from wounds on a track team member's knee, a football player's arm, and another student's hand. An Oregon public health officer commented that we do know that animals lick their own wounds, and that it may be that saliva has healing properties, but my very strong recommendation is that you confine yourself to licking your own wounds. There are many legends involved healing wounds by licking them or finding saliva. Saint Magdalena de Pazzi is said to have cured a nun of sores and scabs in 1859 by licking her limbs. The Roman Emperor Vespasian is said to have performed a healing of a blind man using his saliva. Pliny the Elder in his Natural History reported that a fasting woman's saliva is an effective cure for bloodshot eyes. Filipino belief Usag holds that a child afflicted with the evil eye by a stranger can be relieved of the distress by applying the stranger's saliva to the child's body. Why do I pick scabs on my head? Why do I pick scabs on my scalp? Why do I pick scabs even? Why do we pick scabs? Why do we pick scabs? Other humans pick scabs. Why do I like to pick scabs? Skin picking disorder. When scab picking becomes addictive, skin picking disorder. ABC dermatillomania. Why do we pick scabs? Yahoo Answers. Why do we pick scabs? I know I'm not alone in this. I think that most, or at least half of people pick their scabs. Why is it so appealing? Best answer. This answer is written by GMR 7 years ago. Well, the medical answer to your question would be picking is a compulsive behavior called excoriation. It's a clinical symptom usually of profound depression in a normal day. And then I'm going to skip the rest of that paragraph because it's annoying. But the normal answer to your question is some people just like to do it, like the way it feels. They can't stand using a scab. Well, anyway, I hope this helps. Stuart 2 years ago writes, I agree more with Dylan. I find that most scabs tend to itch and feel foreign, so there's a tendency to alleviate. But it is also true that we do it more when sitting around, like being brain dead, like when watching TV. I play Xbox instead, so my hands and partly brain are otherwise occupied. Toshiro Hiroyuki writes, a year ago, because when have scabs they itch, it's like a dog itch resists to pick the scab just to itch it, but you cannot pick it because it will leave a scar. Dylan M. writes 7 years ago, because it feels like something is on you, but we don't like that. It's like having a piece of scotch tape on your elbow. Oh, I hate putting scotch tape on my elbow. I totally get it. I get it, Dylan M. It's just irritating. It's like, it's less about it being orgasmic and more about getting ripped install Yahoo Mail. Oh no, it just took me to the Yahoo homepage when I clicked on Dylan N's name. Poor Dylan N. I'll never find you. Okay, Yahoo answers Dylan N. Does Dylan move for an entire race and faith? Anyone, Dylan, it's Dylan with two N's is not Dylan I'm looking for. What is Dylan N. Cole's browsed email address? Everyone, I want to talk to Dylan N. Cole. Dylan N. Level 1, Dylan N. Yahoo Answers. This user's activity is private. Story character help, oh man. Dylan N. 5 years ago. Oh, the question. Story character help. Alright, so in this story, the guy is a shapeshifter and he shapes into a big cat. The problem is, I don't know which is more impressive, a jaguar or a leopard. I know, kind of a pathetic question, but hey, I'm a perfectionist, so means. By the way, I looked it up. Both jaguars and leopards come in the black variety. Apparently, panthers is their name for a black jaguar, a black leopard, or another black cat. Who knew? Any thoughts are really appreciated. Dylan N. writes, or perhaps a lion. Depends what he uses his shapeshifting for, I guess, for defending himself / fighting -lion IDE say they were more idolized for their tough character than a jaguar / leopard. If he acts with rogue actions and infiltration, then yes, some sort of panther, as they are more idolized for their stealthiness, you know. Hope this helped. Good luck, and Happy New Year too. I'd say jaguar. Birdie Boo's my name. That's the name. It's got the HTML entity for the apostrophe between Birdie Boo and S, and there's a winky face at the end of the username. Alright, that's the end of the line.